Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to NGS. I am Jason, and we got game number 2 of our double header coming up here. Team Conflict versus Subject to Change. And we are going to be going game number 1 to Dragonshire. So we just leave Dragonshire with our last series, and we're going to dive right back in. And then ironically, we're going back to Praxis Holdout, which was our game number 1 for the last series as well. So interesting map selections. Not even touching the Diablo maps, which is strange here on for NGS, but I don't mind it. We are so going over the map picks. It was indeed Team Conflict that won the coin toss. They elected to ban out Volskaya Foundry, subject to change, then banning Tomb of the Spider Queen. Dragonshire picked up here by Team Conflict. And Praxis Holdout was the pick for Subject to Change. So first pick, first ban, going over to them for this match on Team Conflict's map, and then we'll swap it up for the next round. All right. Sorry, I was a little distracted by something in the NGS chat, but we are seeing the ETC banned out here along with the Hanzo to start this one off. And right away, ETC, very strong in the meta, but banning him is going to leave out the Genji. So we'll have to see if either of these teams... Still trying to figure out what now delay means. Wait, what? I don't know. Anyway... At least the Genji open. Genji very strong on this map with his ability to quickly rotate around, looking for ganks, looking for pressure, and capturing these shrines. So we'll have to see if either of these teams want to go towards the Genji, or if they want to pick something else strong, like a Lucio. Arguably the strongest healer in the meta, can have a very big impact, and I like that first pick here. Because Lucio is a very good counter to the Genji. The Genji does a lot of poke damage, a lot of sustained damage. The ult from the Dragon Blade can be very impactful in terms of dealing a lot of spread damage, but it's countered very hard by the sound barrier. And so if you pick the Genji here, you give Team Conflict the opportunity to pick up the Lucio. So instead, they let the Genji go through, but they pick up the counter. So now, if Team Conflict wants the Genji, they can take it, but Subject to Change has the counter. So I really like that first pick. And by the way, preemptively, nice cure. Thank you very much for the follow. Much appreciated, my friend. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying our matches tonight. This one's slated to be a decent match. Subject to Change has fallen off a little bit the last couple of weeks in the standings. They've been struggling to find themselves a win. Team Conflict has been staying pretty steady here in B Division West. I believe they're number 5 currently, so they're just a little bit on the outside looking in for the playoff picture right now. So they're looking to forge ahead and get a big win tonight to try and really put themselves back in the driver's seat for getting into the playoffs here, moving into the end of the season. They're still definitely in the race. Subject to Change, however, has fallen off that race path a little bit. So a win tonight for them, a domination, would be very, very good going in towards the back half of the season in terms of trying to get back in the running. But anyway, we got Muradin and Greymane coming in. So 2 very strong map picks. They do elect to let the Genji go. And we're going to see Diablo and Zul'jin coming out. Zul'jin, a very interesting pick that we don't normally see. But a good synergy with the Lucio. Zul'jin is very strong in terms of his basic attack damage, his trait ability to get extra attack speed and extra damage. However, he does not have any mobility, and he doesn't have very much self-sustain. He does have the regen, but it's only a little bit of uncontested healing potential. So it doesn't give him a lot. But the Lucio does a nice job of really enabling him with that extra speed to be able to get and engage, the mobility to be able to get out when Lucio can speed him out if he gets in trouble, and then the sustained healing, which doesn't heal him in chunks, but instead gradually brings his health back up, which allows him to be able to do more damage and have that increased attack speed continue. So I like the combo. And Diablo also pretty decent on this map. There's a lot of terrain for Diablo to charge people into. So Subject to Change coming out with a strong draft here on Dragonshire to start this out. Meanwhile, Team Conflict is going to go ahead and ban out the Malthael. Malthael, of course, a very good solo laner. Also very good in the meta right now. And the side of Team Conflict, again, they don't really want the Malthael because Malthael is hard countered by Lucio and that sound barrier. But at the same time, they don't want Subject to Change to have it. So they're going to just ban it out for now. I really like that call. It's a great ban. Meanwhile, the side of Subject to Change looks at the board. They see that they have a support, and the side of Team Conflict doesn't. So they're just going to go ahead and ban out the next best support available. And that makes a lot of sense with the Stukov. Team Conflict knowing exactly what they wanted here. They're going to go ahead and pick the Chromie and the Malfurion. A very nice counter to the Lucio, the burst damage of Chromie, able to chunk people. And so it's a pretty good counter, especially if Chromie does decide to go with the time loop. Lucio does not have a cleanse to be able to deal with that time loop, so they can just try and loop out Lucio or Zul'jin, assuming that Zul'jin doesn't have the Tazdingo available, and could try and blow somebody up with that time loop. The Greymane also a very good follow-up to that. Hey man, you know, maybe. Maybe after this. Casting now. Thanks though. I do like playing some Alex, that's for sure. Sonya and Nazebo coming in here to close out the draft for Subject to Change. So Sonya is still pretty strong even after her nerfs. Strong solo laner. But Leoric, a good pickup to counter her in that solo lane. Meanwhile, Nazebo also very strong in this map with his ability to rotate and quickly build up those stacks for that inevitable 20 talent, that voodoo ritual. So we'll have to see how this works out for both of these teams. Again, I think the matchup in terms of player, in terms of the team-wide skill right now does favor Team Conflict, or it appears to. But power ranking isn't everything, folks. There's a reason we play these games, because it says one thing on paper. I mean, that's going to be the actual practice when we get around to game time. So we'll see how these two teams match up here in this best of two series. Game one, going to be on Dragonshire. This is, of course, map pick for Team Conflict. We'll see what they have planned out for us here. A lot of zoning tools, a lot of isolating tools here available for Team Conflict in their draft. I do think they've done a nice job of not feeding into the Lucio counters. They let the Genji and the Malthael, they ban out. They let the Genji go through. And they pick good burst damage and isolating tools to try and blow somebody up rather than trying to fight into that sustained healing for Lucio. Meanwhile, on the other side, you know, they've got some good combos themselves to pair with the Lucio. So we'll see which one wins out as we have loaded in here onto Dragonshire. Team Conflict is on the left. Taki going to be on the Malfurion. Quantaka is going to be on the Muradin. Rexpa on the Chromie. Joker Frozen is going to be on the Greymane. And Snarky Tiger on the Leoric. Meanwhile, on the right, Subject to Change. Math Problem going to be on the Sonya. John Concarne on the Lucio. Linehouse is going to be playing Diablo. Timmy B is going to be on the Zul'jin. And we're going to have Multipass on the Nazebo. Both teams initially rotating in towards mid, but we're going to see Team Conflict instantly rotating away. Rexpa going to actually come down and get an early hourglass into the bush, see if he can catch anybody walking on in there, checking that bush, and he will find Timmy B. Gonna get an early Q. That's a free Q. Nice damage as well off the rotation there. Taki a little bit late on the route, but that's okay. That's okay. Nobody saw it except for, you know, me and the whole stream. We are going to see right now, though. Nice. I like the rotation in from Nazebo. He throws out those spiders so he can get a couple of stacks, and then goes right back to mid to clear that up. He's going to be the pusher in the mid. We got the top lane here as Math Problem and Snarky Tiger going to be going back and forth. Very interesting matchup between Leoric and Sonya. They both have good situational sustain, so we'll have to see who's able to outplay who down here. Linehouse taking a ton of damage from Rexpa here. And also, nice Q on to Timmy B. Let's actually bring up these talents for you guys so we can see the progress. 17 stacks for Rexpa in the first minute and a half of the game. That is ridiculous. That is just silly. It's that at this rate, he's gonna finish that quest in no time. And I love this quick rotation. Joker gonna rotate out to grab this camp. Rexpa even helping him out with with some of that sand, and then rotates up to the mid to just kind of passively soak. Rexpa gonna check the camp, but is gonna end up going back and just getting the passive minions. Not really trying to push out this lane at all or do anything unsafe. But the camp is picked up there in the bottom left. So we're going to see Team Conflict have the camp advantage here. Oh, but Rexpa gets dived in on a little bit. Math Problem chasing it after, able to avoid the root and the time trap. The stun coming down, though. And once again, we see Rexpa stacking up that Q. He's been getting some nice stacks on it. Quite a lot of the combo Qs. Oh, and Nazebo falling as well in the mid lane there. Nice kill for Joker in the mid lane, as we do see the poke continuing and the pressure coming in with the siege camp in the bot lane. Level 5 for both teams. About a half level lead right now for Team Conflict. A lot of that probably explained by that one pick and the extra XP gained in the mid from that. 32 stacks for Rexpa. Does miss one there, so we'll reset the counter, and next one will only get 1 stack on it. But we're going to be watching that Chromie damage come in, and later in the game, that's going to be quite deadly between the CC combo that Taki and Quantaka can give to keep them still long enough for Rexpa to get a good solid, what I would call an easy combo out with those CC targets. Meanwhile, Snarky Tiger and Timmy B going back and forth here. We are going to see a nice drain life there. Snarky Tiger does walk in with that Wraith Walk. Timmy B going to have to back up for the moment. Nice damage in return, though. No drain life, or no drain hope just yet. Drain life is the Gul'dan ability, and drain hope is the Auric ability. Pretty similar, but you see both Conflict owning both of these, and Joker almost gets the cap, but Math Problem comes in. Actually goes ahead and steps away from it. Didn't want to get hit by that spear. We'll see the side of Subject to Change grabbing their camp now. We'll be able to put a little pressure into the bot. 44 stacks for Rexpa. Stacking this thing up to the moon right now. Level 7 has been achieved by both teams here. Meanwhile, by the way, I didn't notice it earlier, but full spider build coming out here from Subject to Change. Haven't seen as much spider as I've seen Toad lately. Also not putting the priority on that 4 talent to get extra of that voodoo ritual bonus. Oh, and Zul'jin falling in the top lane. Snarky Tiger getting the better of that exchange. But here in the bot, we've got Rumble on the Shrine. John Concarne getting kind of low. Math Problem getting low. Rexpa doing a nice job of poking them out. And with level 8, now we'll have that slowing sands. Good luck getting in on this one, boys. It's going to be a tough approach. Math Problem, though, does hit the... Ooh, it hits the spear, but then the return damage. Quantaka actually diving in to try and get some extra pressure, but a nice peel there from Linehouse. We do see the continued pressure. Rexpa continuing to stack that up, getting closer and closer. That mystical 60. Oh, and in the mid, Math Problem able to zone away Joker once again as they make another play for this Dragon Knight. Level 10, about a level away here for Team Conflict. They are definitely winning the race to that 10 advantage. We're even getting a little bit of damage and pressure here on the bot lane wall. Should be that much more XP for them here. Should be 45 by this point. I don't know the exact figures on what's good and what's not good for Chromie, but I feel like 50 in the first 6 minutes, it's not bad. I mean, it's definitely better than when I play Chromie. I mean, sure, I'm a support main, but that's not really what matters here, right? Now we're starting to see the side of Subject to Change, juking and dodging a little bit, trying to not feed these last 10 to Rexpa for free. So that's good. They're not direct engaging them. Level 10 has come in. We're going to see we already saw the Slowing Sands, but we'll see Cursed Bullet along with Twilight, Dream, Avatar, and the Entomb. What we'd expect from that full-on blow-up comp. About a half level until level 10s are picked up for the side of Subject to Change. Linehouse actually walking in on the point. Nice dash to one of the minions on the outside using that level 4 talent with the extra range there. Once again, both will be capped here for Team Conflict, so they will rotate to the mid. Level 10's coming in, and we're going to see Taz Dingo and that sound barrier coming out as we expected from Subject to Change. We'll also see the Apocalypse coming in.
Hero slain.
And we're going to see Leoric falling in the top lane. The rotation here from Subject to Change. So these guys rotating around, but we are going to see Team Conflict Joker finally able to grab the Dragon Knight here. Meanwhile, Nazebo and Sonya both holding their heroic picks here. Something you would expect from the Sonya, but also, it is going to be Ravenous Spirit and Leap coming out. So they're going to try to get the engage, try and get that range damage from, not from, well, yeah, from the Ravenous Spirit. Oh, and Kwantaka getting very low. Gonna have to dive out, but there's the Ravenous Spirit as Multipass gets completely chunked there from Rexpa in return for his trouble. But Ravenous Spirit able to get back there and get the finishing kill on to Kwantaka. Ravenous Spirit value, boys. Demi B taking some poke damage. Gonna have to heal up a little bit. Rexpa still very healthy on the back line, getting that pressure. 57 on the counter. Getting very close. Barely missing John Concarne there. They will get the fort in the bot lane from this Dragon Knight. Not bad dividends. They get the front wall in the mid. Leoric split pushing in the top. Gets about a little over half the wall. And we'll see both teams rotating out to do camps here. A little bit of downtime, so both these teams gonna just have a little relaxation time. 91 stacks right now for Multipass in terms of that count. I think he's pretty on target to get that 175 for the level 20 talent. Still got 7.5 levels to get it. Of course, you should get more in the back half of the game than you do in the front half in terms of, the 1 to 10 versus 10 to 20. Meanwhile, both teams going to rotate out and deal with these camps that have been pushed out. Time trap into the root from Linehouse, but of course he's very tanky with those souls. Going to be able to walk out of that nonetheless. Chromie has finished the queues, so we'll see the copy now for Rexpa. They're throwing out those extra queues.
Awaken once more. Who will control the Dragon Knight's power?
Meanwhile, we do see the side of Subject to Change rotating in here. Some zoning from Subject to Change as they're trying to get out of here. Kwantaka actually not able to dwarf toss over the wall, gets caught into the zombie wall with math problem and that spin to win. We're gonna see 2 ice blocks coming in as that APOC came in. Joker trying to jump in on the backside, gets hit by those ferocious spiders. Timmy B though getting very low, gonna have to pop the Tazdingo here. And with sound barrier already down, we are gonna see Rexpa go ahead and get that killing blow. Well timed. Joker is gonna get rooted. John Concarne getting rooted, put into the slowing sands, the wall, all the CC. And a 3-for-0 exchange. Diablo going to be coming right back, but not going to be nearly as tanky. No souls now for Linehouse. That's going to be another Dragon Knight going over to Team Conflict. 3-level lead. And they're going to be pushing out this bot lane with 4. Count them. 4 Siege Giants. And they've got Nazebo for the defense, but not a whole lot else in terms of anti-siege damage. Timmy B will do a decent job, but he can't get in there too close without the Tazdingo. John Concarne will help with that a little bit with the extra mobility, but we are going to see them sieging in the bot lane here. We're going to see those stone throwers start to prioritize the keep, and we're going to see that keep start to get chunked, and it is going to go down. And now with this Dragon Knight, they're going to choose not to push in. They're actually going to back off and let Subject to Change clear this. Core would have been a pretty risky call. I think I do indeed like the move here from Team Conflict to just rotate out, get another fort. Level 16s are not anywhere in sight for Subject to Change right now, so they're not really in risk of losing an opportunity. They'll have another opportunity to force a fight, and maybe it's right here as Math Problem gets stunned out. Ton of damage coming down onto him, and a very nice Entomb catching John Concarne. Diablo is going to fall. The APOC comes out to zone a little bit, but it's going to be another pick going over to the side of Subject to Change. And they're going to rotate out and start to work towards that level 20. Snarky Tiger gets in with a huge, huge swing there. It's not going to be a very long window for Subject to Change to get 16 and be able to force a fight before the side of Team Conflict has level 20. So they've got to get out to lane, they've got to soak and try and get that 16 ASAP, and then they've got to instantly do something very risky, more than likely very risky, to force and try and get Team Conflict into a fight. But right now they're stacked. This 5 Leoric is actually out in lane, out soaking them here. But kind of a rough juncture in this game. John Concarne out here a little bit, gets hit by the Stormbolt. Now we're going to see him making it away. Taki not quite able to get the roots down in time to follow up there, but level 19 is going to be achieved here for Team Conflict. Still half a level until 16 is here for Subject to Change. Invasion on the camp here for Team Conflict. Giving them some extra pressure in the top. Meanwhile, Subject to Change trying to answer this bottom pressure. That's huge rotational advantage for Team Conflict. They can look to rotate around and get this next Dragon Knight if they want, but instead they're just going to focus on the front wall of this keep. They've got the camp up here. Joker finishing that cocktail quest. Meanwhile, we see 89 on the Q count right now for Chromie. Stacking that up more and more as the game goes along. While 163 for Nazebo. They have their 16. Can they force it, though? It does not look like they're going to get an opportunity. They catch Snarky Tiger out a little bit, but level 20, so close here, and good disengage tools on both Leoric and Muradin, so no real threat there. Montaka actually does get charged. He does Dwarf Toss out, though. And now they've got both of these shrines and level 20, and this is the perfect opportunity for them to force with those Storm tier talents. They're going to see Snarky Tiger start to cast it. That's going to force a response here from Subject to Change. They drop the Entomb. They drop the Sonya instantly. Multipass getting some damage out with that Ravenous Spirit, but Lucio falls. The Tazdingo is not going to allow for him to get a trade there. Zul'jin goes down. Linehouse retreating with almost no health. And Multipass is going to get stuck here. That's going to be a 4-for-1 exchange for Team Conflict. They're going to end up picking up a Dragon Knight, and they should be able to march this right down the bottom lane where the minions and the Siege Giants are already stacked up with the catapults. The shield is already down. And that should be game number 1. Going over to Team Conflict. Very impressive macro play. Very good team fighting skill. And just in general, dominating effort here in this game number 1 on Dragonshire. Played that one by the book, ladies and gentlemen. That's exactly how you want to play Dragonshire. Team Conflict putting on a clinic for us here in game number 1. Good, good solid macro rotations in terms of like taking camps, the map objective pressure. Good, they had pretty good ganks throughout the game as well. And then once they got that lead, they just constantly snowballed their advantages. Did a great job of capitalizing on all of those. So that's going to be game number 1. We'll go ahead and give you guys a look at these talents once again. Sound barrier, I think, in that game not quite having the desired effect. That's kind of the problem with Lucio. Picking Lucio right now is if you get him early, you prevent a lot of strategies, but you don't prevent them all. So there's always something. That's kind of the cool thing about Heroes of the Storm, right? Is there's always something to counter everything. You know, it's like, what doesn't have a counter in this game? Nothing. So you get the early Lucio, who's really strong in the meta right now, but he's not without his counters. They pick up Greymane and Chromie, who have really amazing burst potential and can burst through that sustained healing. So, Diablo 0 stacks on the 13. Yeah, that's rough. He had a pretty rough job there in terms of having to come back from a pretty big deficit there. So not a whole lot of opportunities for him to be aggressive and be able to get those charge stacks done. Yeah. So we'll see if they're able to make the adjustments in this game number 2. Braxis Holdout is it's a pretty similar map. Yeah, it's a pretty similar map to Dragonshire in the way that you constantly want to be rotating around for the objective, though it is only a 2-lane map with the boss in the mid, so there's not quite as much to do in terms of spreading out. Usually it's the 1-4, unless you're trying to rotate to gank somebody. So it's a little bit simpler a map, and it's very momentum-based. This is probably the most momentum-based map in Heroes of the Storm, so have to see who can get up on the momentum this game. See if Subject to Change can try to bring us back. Let me actually update our score here. If Team Conflict there win. Much earned victory. As we move on into game number 2, Braxis Holdout. Team Conflict versus Subject to Change. Will be our final map of the night in our doubleheader here in the B West Division. Once again, Team Conflict is going to take the ETC off the board. I think they know a little something about Subject to Change and what they like to play. And Hanzo gonna be the ban out for the side of Subject to Change. So once again, leaving the Genji up, which is a big deal on Dragonshire, but it's an even bigger deal on Braxis. I would be shocked to see Genji get through this game. If either team has a Genji player, this is the map that you pick Genji on. So we'll see, but they are going to go back to that Chromie for Rexpa. A Rexpa special, if you will. I thought he did pretty good in the first game. See if he can perform as well here in game number 2 on that Chromie. It's good pressure on the beacon points. Pretty predictable and standard rotations here on Braxis, so usually you can have a pretty good idea of where people are going to be to try and hit those combos with. So definitely one of the maps that Chromie was popularized on. So not a big shock to see that here. What is the response from Subject to Change? Conventional wisdom would say Stukov, but they're going to go with the Lucio instead. It is still good sustained healing in lane, but it depends on if Team Conflict can get good burst damage. And so if I'm Conflict right now, I'm going back to the Greymane. I think that was a good combo that worked out well for them last game, and it's still a good counter to Lucio. The Ragnaros also coming out for Subject to Change is very strong on this map. We've seen Molten Core be very impactful here on Braxis Holdout for deterring those Zerg pushes. Darkman, the best map for Cho'Gall. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we see him this game. I don't suspect we will, but I've been wrong before. So this game they're going to go with Sonya and Stukov. So not going back to the Malfurion here. Instead they're going to go ahead and take the Stukov. And they're going to go back to the Sonya once again. Sonya, a very strong solo laner. Or actually, I'm sorry, it was Subject to Change that had the Sonya. They had the Leoric, so they're gonna take the Sonya this time, who can be quite dominant in that top lane. She is a very strong 1v1 solo laner. She's strong in the 1v1, but she's also strong in the lane, so makes her pretty ideal for Braxis because you want somebody that's good at both, which is why we see more than the average Zagara pick here on this map. A Greymane going to be banned out here by Subject to Change. They don't want to see that again. Say, no thank you, Joker. We'd like to see you on a different hero this game. Team Conflict, meanwhile, going to be picking off the Gul'dan here in the draft, or in the ban phase. Gul'dan, of course, very strong wave clear. Very good AoE sustained damage. Stukov, probably one of the best healers in the game to deal with that spread Gul'dan damage, but still, you don't want to give them all that extra wave clear. And with Chromie already picked up, we wouldn't normally expect to see a Gul'dan paired with that, so we'll just ban it out instead. Two picks coming up here for Subject to Change. They haven't showed a whole lot with their comp so far. So I'll have to see what they decide to go into. Wouldn't mind seeing an Arthas here. Pair with the Stukov, or pair with the Lucio, I should say. A very strong combo. Does leave them a little light on the front line, though. And they're going to go with the Stitches instead. So Stitches and Kael'thas. A pretty interesting pickup here, the Stitches. They're going to be looking to try and hook in the Chromie to try and get the kills. They do have, the Kael'thas does have the ability to follow up with that Gravity Lapse and the extra burst damage that he can put on. He's also good at putting good pressure on the point with his Living Bombs as well as the Flame Strike. So quite a lot to like about Kael'thas on this map, but he is still susceptible to the Chromie poke. Chromie outranges him by quite a lot. So I wouldn't expect the Chromie to feel a lot of heat and pressure from the KT this game. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention the combination of fire heroes right now on Subject to Change. It's a lot of fire. Team Conflict got two more picks here. What's it going to be? Main tank, and you're going to go with the Falstad. So nice global presence there from the Falstad. He's going to be able to rotate up to the solo lane if he wants with that flight. The Nubarak also very good at countering ability damage. He's a very good counter mage tank. So he's a very quality tank against the Kael'thas. There's also a lot of good dive potential here. Sonya and Anubarak, Falstad with his mobility from the barrel roll. They're able to get a lot of damage to the back line if they choose to. Lucio and Kael'thas could be under quite a lot of duress this game. We'll have to see what Subject to Change wants to finish this out. They could either go with another backline damage, or they could go with another frontline damage, as Ragnaros is he's kind of somewhere in between. He's a melee hero, but he's got some good backline abilities. So they're going to go with the Arthas up front. So he still is a very good combination with Lucio. Ragnaros or Arthas could be the solo lane here. Probably the Rag. Arthas, it's a very interesting pick. It's not very high damage, but if they do get enough of the lockdown onto one of the members of Team Conflict with a hook, they can isolate them and blow them up between the Stitches, Kael'thas, and Arthas. They even have John Concarne on the Lucio to be able to use that boop and try and continue to keep him isolated, or to try and boop the other members of Team Conflict away. So we'll see how this one turns out here. Team Conflict up 1-0 here. I do like their draft quite a lot and their global ability. It pairs well with what we saw in that first game in terms of their good macro play. So I would favor them for this match, but again, we'll see if Subject to Change has what it takes to come back. They did look good in certain aspects of that first game. They did have some good team fighting pressure at times in the early game. And we'll see what they can come up with here in game number 2 as we load in 2 Braxis holdouts. Let me go ahead and get our overlay fixed up here. Not that one. That one. There we go. We got it, team. We got it. Rexba going to be on the Chromie for the side of Team Conflict. Joker going to be on the Falstad. Quantaka going to be on Anubarak. Taki on the Stukov. And Snarky Tiger going to be on the Sonya. Meanwhile, on the right, Subject to Change, it is going to be Timmy B on the Ragnaros. We're going to have Math Problem on the Arthas, Multipass on the Stitches, John Concarne on the Lucio, and Linehouse is going to be on the Kael'thas. So these guys are going to respect the standard 4-1. They'll be honoring the gentleman's agreement to leave the solo laners alone here for this first part of the laning phase. Right away, Rexpo looking to get the pokes out there with Chromie. Oh, but a ton of damage coming out as Rexpa gets hooked in. Not quite enough damage just yet, but already 11 stacks here from this early scrimmage. So, once again, some good value. Make that 13. Taki, though, taking a ton of damage. Linehouse is getting a lot of pressure and a lot of value here early. I'll have to see if that's able to add up to a win here later. I mean, a lot of it does come down to the damage of Linehouse. Also worth noting that Linehouse is also working on his own quest talent here at level 1. It is going to be the Convection coming out. So we'll have to see if the side of Subject to Change is able to keep him safe. With Stitches and Arthas, I would think that they will. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, we will see both teams trading out the beacons for the moment. Sonya should be winning that in the top lane, I would think. But we'll have to see ultimately who's able to... Right now, it is owned by Ragnaros, but we'll see if that continues to be the case. Math Problem actually gets in onto the point. It's a nice Howling Blast, and they end up picking up the beacon. Math Problem is staying in here, pressuring it, but eventually the side of Team Conflict is able to take it back. 16% though, casted. It's a start. Meanwhile, we have 9 Convection for Linehouse, 30 stacks for Rexpa. 2.5 minutes in, he's already halfway there. Math Problem just walking right in to Rexpa there, and Rexpa just stands there and casts like it ain't like it's nothing. We see level 4 talents being picked up by both of these teams very evenly here. There's going to be slam build Stitches coming out. Math Problem working on the Howling Blast quest, but only 4 so far. We're going to see spread talent here by Taki. Allow him to get a little bit of extra mana back from spreading that healing pathogen. This is pretty nice for the sustained healing here on Braxis. Oh, but Rexpa gets hooked out. Nice gravity lapse to combo with it. Math Problem gets in there with the slow and the boop, but Rexpa turns around and gets a huge sand drop there. Drop in the sand. Don Concarne trying to drop the beats, but Rex was dropping the sand. Sand wins in that case. I like John Concarne racing in though and grabbing that, grabbing the globe, and Rexpa not happy about that. It's the combo. John Concarne gets taken from 100% to about 10%. No Hanzo. Yeah, well, it happens. He's pretty good. We do see right now Joker rotated to the top. Snarky Tiger going to now be looking at top lane. Math Problem's not going to let him get that for free, though. We've actually got him slowed. Timmy B coming in. But Snarky Tiger is going to go ahead and hit the spear out. And we'll be able to make it out. Low health, but still does make it out. Joker actually coming up here, and we're going to have a 2v2 in the top lane over this point. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, we do have Team Conflict owning it. 13 Convection for Linehouse. 48 for Rexpa, as we see the battle of the mages in the bot lane. Who can finish that quest first? And can they get the reset onto the Kael'thas before he picks up 20? He needs 6 more at the moment. Doesn't matter if Rexpa dies, they're still going to have the Chromie stacks. But the side of Team Conflict doing a nice job of getting quite a lot of the charge there. 94% before finally it was taken back here from Subject to Change. Gontaka gets hit by the hook and the combo. Linehouse has been on fire with these gravity lapses, man. An excellent follow-up. Both teams hitting level 7 here. Linehouse gets trapped in that time trap, and the Q not quite reaching far enough, but Linehouse does get hit down to about half health. Joker is able to grab the point here for the moment. We don't own it in the bottom lane. But Rexpa very low on mana at the moment. He's going to get that globe to try and conserve a little bit. Joker, meanwhile, flying up to the top. Going to go ahead and grab this back. And if he's able to finish this cast, that should be enough to ensure the cap, but the side of Subject to Change are able to rotate in on it in time. Joker actually trying to barrel roll out is going to end up making it out just fine here. Or am I eating my words? I am not. Okay, good talk. In the bot lane, meanwhile, there's going to be Time Loop coming out. Again, Lucio, no cleanse available. So Rexpa is going to be trying to hit those combos. 17 stacks, but all 60 are here for Rexpa. So Linehouse has to be very careful. May even want to consider rotating away from the Chromie, because that's just one time loop away from being disastrous. But meanwhile, the hook out onto Rexpa. John Concarne gets poked pretty low. And Rexpa is going to go for the combo. But Multipass doing a very nice job of getting up into Rexpa's face, getting a lot of damage out. But still, John Concarne getting solo. Ragnaros falling in the top lane. They will be able to cap the point there for Team Conflict. And finally, this first Zerg wave will be capped. And here come the Zerg in the top lane. We are going to see 3 members staying in the bot. There is a much smaller Zerg wave in the bot lane, but still a Zerg wave. There's still a Guardian there. it'll still get value if they don't answer to it, so they will choose to do that. Linehouse spreading those bombs. Convection has been finished as well by Linehouse here, so doesn't have to worry about losing his life anymore. He's got that extra wave clear from all that extra damage on the Q. Level 16, that's going to be an amazing anti-sieging tool for them. And this game's been good enough in this early part, been close enough that I do expect both teams to still make it to 16 while this game is still relevant. We do see Timmy B popping that Molten Core and deterring quite a lot of this wave. So Team Conflict works so hard to get that 100 cap, and then the Molten Core gets popped up, and they just eliminate most of the Zerg wave. They don't even get a fort out of it. They get the fort front wall in just the top lane. Quite a lot of work. But the level 10s are here. We already talked about the time loop. It's going to be paired with the Mighty Gust, Flailing Swipe, the Web Wrap, and the Leap coming out here from Team Conflict. On the other side, it's going to be Phoenix, Gorge, Army of the Dead, Sound Barrier, and Ragnaros still holding his heroic. And it's going to be Lava Wave. So Lava Wave, pretty decent on this map. It is only a 2-lane map, so it maybe doesn't get quite the advantage that you might get out of a 3-lane larger map where it can be tougher to answer to that split pressure from the Lava Wave. But it's great for deterring the what am I thinking about? The Zerg Wave. Can be very strong for that. Meanwhile, Rexpa getting poked a little bit low. But nothing that John Concarne can't, or I should say that Taki can't deal with. The poke from Chromie is what John Concarne has been healing up nicely. Only 2-1 on the kill count so far, so not a whole lot of deaths just yet, but a nice 3-man Q there from Linehouse. Meanwhile, we do see the, the insta-deletion onto the KT, my goodness. But Multipass looking to make a Nubarak pay for that. Wantaka, I don't think, has the burrow charge. Oh, he is going to go down, despite Taki's best efforts there with that lurking arm. He burrow charged in to get the Kalthos, so Multipass saw his opportunity and took it. And he did a nice job. A nice counter kill there. They're going to have the KT back, and Nubarak also going to be heading back here. But for now, the side of Subject to Change has casted both of these points. Rexpa missing on the Qs there on the math problem. We are going to see the Sonya capping in the top, so only 22% capped there. Math problem doing a nice job strafing out as he came out of that time trap, so doesn't get hit by the combo from Rexpa, but Linehouse very low. The helping hand coming out to try and give him a hand. Oh, and Linehouse able to make it out, but John Concarne takes a ton of damage. But Joker goes in too far. Multipass ends up getting the hook. And Rexpa grabs the point, but for now, advantage over to the side of Subject to Change. Rexpa gets blown up. And they are charging here. They are going to be able to deny here. Meanwhile, in the top, Ragnaros and Sonya back and forth here. But Timmy B getting the better of this right now. But the leap stunning him, but it's not enough. Timmy B wins in the top. Subject to Change wins in the bottom. And they're going to be capping this charge here for the moment. Wantaka going to have to burrow charge out. Almost gets hit by that hook. Woo, that was close. And this should be the full Zerg wave. Going over to Subject to Change. It's a big moment for them to be able to try and snowball. But we are going to see Joker rotating up here. He's such a joker. That Joker. Math problem rotates up. They're going to get the rest of that charge on the wave. But Linehouse gets deleted. Rexpa with that time loop right into the lurking arm from Stukov. Now we'll get to see the opportunity for Team Conflict to go ahead and clear out this Zerg wave. See how their Zerg clear is, but the fort already under assault. The Banelings dealing a decent amount of damage to that fort. But they're doing a nice job of clearing it out. They've got quite a lot of wave clear in their own right here, and without KT here to really support the push, they put Stitches out in the bottom to side soak to get some extra XP. And they are winning the race to 16, so that's going to be a nice advantage for them here. But for now, the stun comes out on the Math Problem. All 5 members are here now. Is Multipass able to hit a hook, get Snarky Tiger, and Linehouse actually trying to use the Gravity Lapse, but they end up using the Gorge. Snarky Tiger leaps out, and the damage on the other end to Timmy B. They're going to have to walk away, or at least Timmy B is going to have to walk away. Ooh, that's Rexpa scaring me there. A little bit of pucker factor there for Ragnaros. Both teams achieving level 14, actually 15 now for Subject to Change. They have about a half-level lead right now, give or take. 4 to 5 on the kill count, still very even. Oh, but we have a nice contest up here. Nice sound barrier coming out from John Concarne as Timmy B had been hit by that time loop, but they're able to get him through it. However, they are on the chase here, trying to get to Linehouse. And Joker actually coming in the backside, hits the gust on him. He kind of barrel rolls in, but Rexpa able to get the kill. But on the backside is being pressured here by Math Problem and Timmy B. They get the counter kill. And now it's about who can out-sustain. Timmy B gonna walk away. Math Problem keeping Quantaka slowed. Multipass actually hits the Gorge there onto Snarky Tiger, but once again is able to leap out. They turn on to Math Problem. Quantaka comes in with the Burrow Charge. And at the end of the day, Arthas ends up getting taken down. What a long team fight. All that for a 2-for-1, ladies and gentlemen. Team fights are getting very scrappy here by both of these teams. But Team Conflict definitely getting the better end of that one. As the beacons activate, Arthas is going to be up right around the same time that these beacons are up. So Subject to Change has to be very careful about how they split to try and take these. Snarky Tiger getting low here. The wave is still there, though, so Multipass can't quite hit the hook. Snarky Tiger keeping the wave there, but level 16 is now here for Subject to Change. Time loop onto John Concarne, and they completely delete him there. Oh, that's a huge pick. They are now getting onto Timmy B. The helping hand will get him out of that, and the lava wave should zone for them enough. But again, the huge burst onto Lucio. Not able to get to the sound barrier in time there. It may have been on cooldown, actually. Did not see when it was off cooldown there. But Stitches gets deleted as well, and Team Conflict coming out here in the late game and getting the huge picks that they are looking for. Very impressive. 117 stacks for Rexpa so far this game. I am a little afraid to look at the stats. 80k hero damage right now from Rexpa. Dominating this game with that Chromie. My goodness. So we do see the Zerg Wave being capped here in the top lane. They are pushing in with the Zerg Wave. Once again, Linehouse does have some very nice anti-sieging tool with that, with the Phoenix as well as the double Flame Strike now. They're doing a nice job of clearing this out. Timmy B should also have Molten Core available, I think. Looks like he might be positioning for it. He might have also used it on that top fort earlier. I actually forget exactly how long it's been down. But we are going to see that Lava Wave not available for 25 seconds. Multipass gets hit by a combo there. Snarky Tiger coming in, but Joker actually the one getting low on the backside, and Timmy B actually able to get the kill there. It was actually Arthas. The Chromie also falling as he got hooked in there, it looked like. And we're going to see Snarky Tiger trying to zone with that leap, but now does not have the leap available as he gets pulled in. Subject to Change. A 4-for-nothing exchange here. And they are going to be instantly mounting up and looking to take advantage And when you don't have the Zerg Wave available, there's one other thing you can do that can get you a nice advantage here. And right now, the structures are actually pretty even. A little bit of an XP advantage off of that 4-for-0 exchange for Subject to Change. And now they're going to be able to rotate around, deny camps, and get some split pressure. This boss will be walking into the bot lane for the side of Subject to Change. So they're going to cap this top for the denial, and they're going to rotate aggressively, it looks like. They're splitting up a little bit, which is a little bit scary. Oh, that hook almost hitting Rexpa. So close there. And we're going to see the rotation in onto this fort. The boss should make pretty short work of this fort, especially with help from those flame strikes. Joker able to dodge the hook coming in from multipass as the boss going to start marching in to the front wall of this keep. Sonya is split up in the top lane, and we also have Lava Wave coming in. Oh, and Taki going to take a ton of damage from that. Is going to have to back up here. No healer available as Taki needed to step back and tap. Multipass is going to get hit by that, and the stun comes out, but ultimately Snarky Tiger still able to leap out. The gust is good from Joker to be able to help zone, and they're going to walk away without getting that keep. But they're so close to level 20. They get the front wall there. They get solid damage on the keep. They are going to go ahead and cast this, but they don't want to give the fight to Team Conflict. Math problem is a little bit out here, as they are going to be able to cap this camp in time, but right now they're going to turn around. They get Linehouse into that time loop, but they aren't able to finish the kill. Anubarak dying along with Falstad on the other side. They have all this extra spell damage resistance from the camp, and Snarky Tiger going to get taken down, not able to get that Ancient Spear out, and right now, Subject to Change, able to turn another huge team fight their way. Linehouse looking for some extra damage, gets the Q out onto Rexpa, and the hook onto Rexpa as well. The Gorge. Oh my goodness. Multipass has caught out Chromie. Rexpa goes down. And now they're going to rotate up to get the beacon charge. I don't know if I like this call. Subject to Change. They have decent death timers now with Rexpa being dead. They have good siege potential with a camp here in the bot lane. They're going to get themselves a Zerg Wave out of this, but they might have been able to end the game here. It would have been close. They could still go in and get some damage, but instead they're going to walk away. The members are starting to come back. 8 seconds on the Sonya, but they're going to get some extra camp pressure. They are going to have the Zerg Wave pushing in the top, so this could be double keep, but they have level 20. I don't know. You know, it's a toss-up whether or not that could have been a finish. It certainly could have been keep damage. They are going to get the Zerg Wave here. They also have that camp pushing in the bot, so they do have some good pressure there on the other end of the map. But now Rexpa is back up. Level 20, not really in sight, though, for Team Conflict. So this is a pretty scary moment here. Subject to Change, looking for their first NGS game win in a couple of weeks here. Linehouse is going to end up getting hit by that. Oh, it gets almost global, but John Concarne comes in with a big sound barrier to be able to help him. They're going to be able to heal him up on the backside, and the Zerg Wave is coming in. Joker flying over on the backside, or coming in around the backside, trying to get the gust, but now the core is under assault on the bottom lane. Timmy B is going to hit the Molten Core, and they're going to get a ton of damage out from that. The Zerg Wave comes in onto the keep, and I just don't know how Team Conflict can save this. They do get the kill onto Kael'thas, but the core is falling, and Subject to Change comes out and gets a huge win here against Team Conflict to force the draw. Very well played from Subject to Change here on Braxis Holdout. Did a very nice job of macro play, good pressure in the early game, and once they started to get those team fight wins, it was huge. It was huge for them, and they do a they got to give a huge congratulations for them, because I know Subject to Change has been looking for a win these last couple weeks and had been struggling. So to come out against one of the stronger teams here in Division B, Team Conflict, able to get one of these games, it's got to be really exciting for them. Team Conflict, on the other hand, not quite able to get things rolling in that game number 2 as they had in game 1. They had a very dominating performance on Dragonshire, but ultimately not quite able to pull off the domination. Could be a little detrimental to their playoff campaign here as we head towards the last half of the regular season. So we'll have to see how much this one game, this draw, really costs them here. But we will go ahead and take a look at the talents for you guys one last time, give you that talent snapshot. And that is going to be it for me tonight, guys. Thank you very much to all the teams that came out to play tonight. Congratulations to both of these teams for picking up a win each and putting on a great show for us. Very entertaining matches, especially that match number 2 was really pretty good. But we're gonna call it a night here for us. Big shout out to the NGS admins and everybody that participates in NGS. It's a really fun league. If you guys haven't checked it out already, I would definitely suggest going on their website, go check out the Discord channel and get more info, because it's not too late to be involved in NGS, and they're constantly doing good rollover on their different seasons, so you can get right in on the next one, and which I think is going to be coming in April, but it's not too late to start forming a team and getting ready for that. There's a lot of talk for extra stuff that they're planning on doing. They already have the Coliseum, but there could be more stuff coming up soon, and it's been quite a lot of fun so far, casting and playing in NGS, so I definitely recommend it to anybody out there that's not already involved. But gonna do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you very much for joining me for either of these doubleheaders. Congratulations once again to all the teams, and for NGS, I am Jason, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.